Hi guys. My name is Alexander Dimension and welcome to the new video. This morning is just super busy in terms of some crazy events. That's why I wrote the cryptocurrency market went so crazy that I woke up and immediately started working on this video. What's going on is scary, but leads to the same conclusion for all these stories. There's nothing like Bitcoin, especially if you're storing it yourself. If you like this kind of content, and don't forget to like it. Thanks so much for your support. Let's start with the US national debt, which reached a record $31.5 trillion yesterday. That's just a staggering number. On top of that, just yesterday it reached another ceiling that the government set last time. The US Treasury Department, represented by Janet Yellen, is already saying that they are taking extraordinary measures to prevent a default. What measures are they taking? So far there has been no public announcement, but they could, for example, cut spending or reduce the size of the government or give purchasing power to the dollar by making it stronger. Nah. That's all out of the realm of fantasy, even though Republicans are calling for spending cuts. Only then would they vote to raise the debt ceiling, but it's unlikely to happen. Speaking of which, this raising of the debt ceiling could be the 23rd in US history. So, people are asking, what are these extraordinary measures being taken right now? Some say they're taking money out of the pension funds right now. Well, some suggest that they are taking money from the bank accounts of ordinary citizens. It all sounds pretty fantastic, if it weren't for one thing. For some reason on this very day, when the national debt reached the ceiling, there was suddenly a flood of complaints from Bank of America customers. For example, on Instagram, TikTok or Reddit are reporting big problems with this bank. Many customers have simply had money disappear from their accounts. Maybe it's just a coincidence, but it's very strange. Let's take a look at this video from the bank's branch, which was taken by a customer.
So I'm a Bank of America and everybody's missing money. I'm also missing money over $1,300 and they're telling me to call customer service. And they keep hanging up on people. This another person here is also missing money. So we're trying to see what's going on. Money's missing today and we need our money. And they're already telling us to call customer service. And customer service ain't doing nothing about it. So just a heads up, if anybody's experiencing this, please let us know because this is not right. I'm missing $1,400 from my account, and they're telling me that there's no way they can help us. This guy's missing money too. This other person is missing money too. And you missing money too? There you go. So this is not something that's just one person. This is everybody's happening to them. And this is crazy. This is very crazy. Yes, Bank of America decided to take people's money without their consent. And we're asking what's going on, and they're giving us a runaround. Everybody for the same thing, man. Same thing.
Imagine waking up in the morning trying to pay your rent or buy food, and you don't have any money on your card, but your paycheck is still a long way off. The bank has taken your money and says there's nothing they can do. I felt completely helpless, says the woman whose money disappeared from her bank account in America. I found another very interesting story from a bank customer. He writes the following. Ray Garcia is his name. He had been using Bank of America for 20 years straight, but then he saw that yesterday many people had money disappearing from their accounts at that bank. He decided to check his account and noticed some strange 15 transactions related to Zelle Pay. Ray said he didn't make any such transactions in one day. He said he lost $700 from his account. Customer service ignored his inquiries. The Bank of America public relations officer said only that there was some kind of delay between the last transactions, but it was resolved. The problem was on the bank side. Tell me honestly, would you be satisfied with that explanation? Trust in the bank is undermined. Trust in the financial system is undermined. And what comes to mind immediately? Well, of course, Bitcoin as an alternative to the existing financial system. Much safer and more controlled by you. Bitcoin is a way to take control back from the government, but only if you don't keep it on the exchange. After all, if you do, well, even then you might have a problem. For example, the kind of problems which occurred to users of the exchange Bitslotto and even Binance. Let me remind you that the US Department of Justice has destroyed the exchange Bitslotto. This has already had its consequences. Bitslotto was a very small exchange, but it seems that this reputation was made intentionally. If it had not been a small exchange, it could not have been used in criminal schemes. Look, for example, at this excerpt from the US Department of Justice indictment against Bitslotto. What did they say there? The biggest transactional turnover was on Darknet, the largest darknet marketplace, Hydra, whatever. It clearly says Bitslotto's biggest partner was Binance. Hydra is only in second place. In addition to that, by the way, in the third place, as you can see, among the largest partners in Bitslotto was Ponzi scheme. Again Russian, the same, the Finico. Maybe you know about that one. A lot of people got hurt in it. A lot of Binance users are complaining that they are disconnected from even being able to log into their Binance account. We expect that the U.S. Department of Justice, and possibly FinCEN, the Treasury Department, and even the SEC may investigate Binance to investigate the transaction between Binance and Bitslotto. It is not yet known if you and I fall into the risk zone, our accounts, but there is one clear factor that makes blocking 100% possible. All Binance accounts that have transacted, received, sent money from the Bitslotto crypto exchange are blocked. So much for a small exchange, so much for a small problem. And I want to finish with an update on the situation with Genesis Trading and Digital Currency Group. What we talked about has just happened. Genesis filed for bankruptcy. As expected, the market didn't even react much to it. Genesis reports that it has $500 million in assets left, but it owes $765 million to one creditor alone, with a total debt of about $3 billion. But the story doesn't end there. Genesis assets can now be sold as part of a bankruptcy case. But there is good news. The fact that Genesis chose to file for bankruptcy rather than sell its portfolio means that there won't be a sharp collapse in the crypto market, but a slow process of liquidating assets as part of a bankruptcy case. This is actually much better than draining everything at once. Cameron Winklevoss, the creator of Gemini Exchange, has already commented on this situation. Recall he has already published 2 public letters to Digital Currency Group and Barry Silbert demanding the return of debts. Also, he said that the good point is that Genesis in the bankruptcy case will have to disclose all the machinations that led Genesis, GCG and Gemini to such a sad situation. But what follows is even more interesting. Cameron says that GCG, the parent company of Genesis, continues to refuse to make any deals with creditors, including Gemini. So, Cameron says, we are preparing to file a direct lawsuit against Barry Silbert, GCG and others who are responsible for the fraud that has hurt more than 340,000 users of Gemini and others. Cameron says Barry Silbert and GCG need to come to their senses right now. Otherwise, the lawsuit against them will begin immediately. Many people asked, well, what will happen if the Gemini ultimatum to pay all their debts by January 8th is not executed? Well, here's what will happen. There will be a trial. However, Winklevoss is even now giving GCG and Barry Silbert, it seems to me, one last chance. This is a very interesting development, so I will be covering it further on my channel. My name is Alexander Dimension. See you in new videos. See you soon.